Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett. Oh no, I think I'm about to have another episode.
Okay, people. This is Charlie Jewett with the Renovating Retirement Podcast coming at you after a long break. Those that know me personally know that I'm going through a divorce that was supposed to be clean, but it got a little messy. So there were some things I needed to attend to that made it hard for me to record a show every day. But guess what, peeps? Righteousness wins every time. I am back to help the world, to save the world from the nasty joker brokers and captive insurance agents that have been pillaging American retirement for decades. They didn't know that someone was going to stand up to them. They're bullies. But I just came and slapped them in the face and kicked them in the booty. And it's time to put them in their place. So what are we going to do about that? What are we collectively going to do about that? We're going to do episode 82, Keeping Your Money. Now listen, folks, this is the first of an 8-part series based on a book I'm writing called Keeping Your Money. Now, Keeping Your Money is going to have 8 chapters. The first chapter, Keep It in Focus. Keep It Global is the second chapter. And let's continue. Keep it real. Keep it working. Keep it big. Keep it all. Keep it collateralized. Uh-oh, that's advanced. And then keep it in the family. Don't give it to the IRS. Keep it in the family, baby. 8 chapters. Today, we're going to start the first chapter. The podcast is based on the content from the first chapter of this book, Keeping Your Money. It's called Keep It in Focus. What do I mean by that? Keep it in focus. Well, why are we even doing this? Why do you even save money for retirement? Why not just spend everything you have? What's the goal? How do you know if you succeeded? How do you know if you've done a good job? How do we accomplish this? What are we measuring this by, right? How do you succeed? Well, let me give you 2 words that, in my opinion, my humble, sometimes arrogant opinion, these 2 words sum up the entire goal of retirement planning, the entire goal of not spending every single dime you make from the age of 22 to 65. Let's just put it that way. The 2 words are income and I just keep you in suspense. Suspense? What is suspense? I just keep you in suspense. Income and inheritance. Now, these are basically the 2 reasons that people save money, or the 2 goals they have for the savings that they've accumulated. Sometimes people have the goal of income, and then they receive a giant inheritance. So they don't need the money that they have for income anymore, and their goals for the money that they've saved become inheritance. If you go way back to the beginning, let me see if I can pull up iTunes right now real quick. Live on the air with Charlie Jewett. Can I pull up iTunes and tell you what episode it is? I might be able to do that. I'm looking for an episode called A Planning versus... There we go. Episode... Well, that doesn't help. iTunes calls it 71, and that's not the episode. Oh, here we go. Episode 11. A planning versus B planning, retirement income while you're alive or inheritance when you pass away. So A planning versus B planning, or episode 11 of this show, talks a little bit about this. What's your money for? Do you need it for income? Do you just want to leave it as an inheritance or maximize how much you leave behind? But basically, these are the 2 reasons that people save. So let's talk about this. Income. For most people, you're not so absolutely loaded, so rich, so full of assets that you don't even need to touch them for income. Most of you need to spend some of the money that you've accumulated, or at least spend the interest that it's accumulating on income in retirement to pay your bills. So for most people, the majority listening to the show, the majority of people that I meet, they need the money they've saved for income. So the entire point of saving up these chunks of money, which is normally done inside of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, a 401k, an IRA, some sort of name brand mutual fund sales organization that does this for you, right? The main reason is that you're going to go into 30, 40 years of unemployment. And you need what? What goes away when you stop working? Okay, the three types of money that you need in your life are in case income increase, or we could say piggy banks, paychecks, and potential. While you're working, you've got a piggy bank. You have your savings account at the bank for little emergencies and things like that, right? You got a paycheck. You have your job or your business. And then you have potential. You have your growth money. You're trying to grow it in your stock, bonds, and mutual fund account. When you quit, which one of them goes away? Do you lose everything in the bank? Does somebody come take everything out of your investment account? No. What goes away when you quit your job? Your paycheck goes away. Your income goes away. Can we please fight the billions of dollars that are spent by the growth and mutual fund industry? Can we please fight all of the efforts that they have made to tell you that the only thing in the world that's important is rate of return? Can we please, as a small band of devoted people, can we please agree that the entire purpose of retirement planning is to replace your paycheck when your paycheck goes away? Is that too much to ask? I don't think it is. People like to receive a paycheck. One day they know it's going to stop. So they save a bunch of money and try to accumulate a pool of money called a nest egg. And that nest egg is supposed to do what? It's supposed to crack open and birth paychecks. Little paychecks every month. There's one for June. There's one for July. August is a big month apparently, and there's a paycheck for you. You're supposed to create income for yourself during 30 to 40 years of retirement. So I want you to keep this in focus. Why do you save? Why not spend everything at Starbucks? Why do you put some money away? Why do you have money sucked out of your paycheck? Maybe sucked out of your bank account to go into savings? Why are you doing this? One of the main reasons is so that when your income goes away, you can create your own income using the proper tools at that time. Now, I've done tons and tons and tons of podcasts on this, but the number one tool in the world, which no one can argue and nobody has the cojones to stand up and argue it with me on TV or radio, the number one tool in the world for creating a guaranteed paycheck for life is annuities. Now, there's 5 different types. There's thousands of different iterations because there's all these different companies. Last time I looked, there's about 220 options for people either in California or Hawaii, and every other state's about the same. So yes, there's different choices, but annuities in and of themselves will give you a higher income than you can get from stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and they will guarantee it, where the insurance company's carrying all the risk, whereas all the other options, you're carrying the risk. So anybody that wants to argue me, as I've always said, the coward challenge, I'll meet any financial advisor any day of the week on any show on radio or TV. I won't even prepare. I already know what you're going to say, and I have already prepared to blast you and embarrass you. That's why nobody says yes. Any day of the week, I'll show up and argue this because I don't care about opinions. The only thing that matters in the world is truth. 2 plus 2 is 4. Gravity pulls things towards the earth. If you believe 2 plus 2 is 5, or you try to defy gravity, you get killed, either in your retirement or your body. Now, what's the second reason that people save? Why not spend all your money? It's inheritance. Some people, whether they knew this from day one, or whether they receive an inheritance or sell a business that just explodes and does really well, some people end up in a situation where they're saying, you know what? I don't really need my money for income. Or let's go back to the people that need money for income. Even the people that need money for income, at some point, they know they're going to pass away. This is the fifth life of the 5 lives of retirement. Long life, short life, rough life, sick life, and into the next life. At some point, we all know that we're going to officially retire from the earth, not just from our jobs. We're not going to be here any longer. So for inheritance, let me ask you a question. What is true wealth? What are true assets? What is wealth, or what do assets really mean? When I say the word assets, what comes to mind to you? I've asked this to thousands of people because for years I was involved with empowered wealth or the four quadrants. And you can look this up online. There's a beautiful book called The Brower Quadrants. I love the book. There's some challenges in that organization, in my opinion, with deliverables and how to get it to the regular person instead of just the ultra wealthy. But their content is amazing. I've taken tons of training from them. I have the cell phone number of the director. I love that group. Go to their trainings, read their books, love their stuff. There's some challenges why I don't fully embrace everything, but it's very much worth reading. The Brower Quadrants or Empowered Wealth. This comes from them. When I say the word assets, what comes to mind? Having done this with thousands of people, what they say is house, bank accounts, cash, stocks. And then we just say this very simple question right after that. Is there anything in your life that's more important to you than money? No, I was quiet there for a minute on purpose because people kind of go quiet and then they begin to answer and they say things like, yeah, my family, my health, my traditions. This is going kind of deep, but my habits. Can you imagine having to relearn everything you do every day? Habit is such an asset that you know how to tie your shoes, brush your teeth, walk, drive a car. What an asset. Family, of course, more important than money. Traditions, faith, friendships, connections. All of these things are more important than money. What are the most important things that you can pass on to loved ones? Your kids, your nephews and nieces if you don't have kids, your charities that you care about, your friends. What's the most important thing that you can pass on to them when you pass away? Is it your money? Or is it possibly the more important assets such as your character, your beliefs, your faith, your traditions, your habits, your education, the how you made the money? Should you leave a bunch of fish behind? Or should you teach those following you how to fish and catch their own fish? All of this emphasis from empowered wealth or all this true wealth or true assets emphasis is on what is truly the most valuable thing in life. Listen, watch the documentary called Happy on Netflix, Happy, just called Happy. It's a documentary on what makes people happy. You will find it's not money. There's overwhelming evidence that it's not religion. Religious people are some of the most unhappy people on the planet, although there are religious people who are happy. It is connectedness. It's community. It's feeling a part of something bigger than yourself. It's taking your gifts and bringing them to a community and being valuable there and giving them in an interconnected way to other people and receiving back from them the love and the sharing of their gifts. It's being a part of something bigger than yourself, a community, and being a part of a social group where everybody is putting others first. So you can see where in religion that's possible, but most expressions of modern day religion crush that and become legalism or just hurt it. How did I get off on that tangent with a background of 22 years in Christianity? I don't know. But people, the most important assets, the true wealth in your life is not money. So as we begin this journey called keeping your money, the number one thing I want you to understand is that money is not about money. Money is about income. You've got to replace your paycheck, and that means money. You have to have money to pay your bills. Your entire life you've had money coming from your income, your salary or your business, whatever it is. When that goes away, which is the definition of retirement, you need to replace it with an equally, if not more stable, income, which normally comes from annuities. It might come from rental properties. Maybe your pensions and your Social Security are high enough where you don't even need any of your assets for income, which is fine. You can be a B planning family. Listen to episode number 11. Then you're talking about inheritance. Maximizing your inheritance, maximizing the amount of money that you leave, that's easy. I could teach you how to do that in 5 minutes. Maximizing the capturing of your wisdom assets, your education assets, capturing the how to fish, who you are, the character, your traditions that you want to leave behind. That's a little bit harder, but today, with Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox and the ability to videotape yourself on your cell phone, you can capture anything that you want. The heirs, the people living past you, living longer than you can capture anything you want, record it, give it a life of its own, where people 4, 5, 10, 15 generations from you can be watching your videos and learning from you. Everything you've learned in your life is an asset. It's valuable to somebody. That's why in other cultures, not the American culture, but that's why in other cultures, the elderly are considered so precious and so valuable, because they're just a vault of life experience and information. So people, today's show is just an introduction to my new book, which will come out who knows when. It's hard to write books and go through a divorce at the same time. Spoken by Charlie Jewett, 2016. Probably a terrible quote, but who knows? That's what it is. The book's coming out called Keeping Your Money. Right now I'm finishing up Better House, Lower Taxes. That'll be out soon. That's my third book. This will be the fourth. But the first chapter is Keep It in Focus. And what does it mean to keep it in focus? Money is about creating a stream of income. Don't fall prey to the joker brokers who want you to keep it in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And the only thing they sell is risk with a side of fees. When it's time to retire, you need a paycheck, not potential. You do not need to leave all of your money at risk, and that would be foolish. You need a paycheck. So it's about income. And what else is it about? My cricket noises aren't working very well. You need, possibly, an inheritance. And if your plan is to leave an inheritance, it's not all about the money. It's about leaving the most valuable things that you have inside of your soul. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your connections, your strategies, your tips. All of it is more important than the money. Capture it on videotape. Store it somewhere. And make sure that at your funeral, a DVD is passed out where it's you in your own voice sharing everything that you've learned about every area of your life: faith, family, finance, fitness, fun, as many as you can come up with. Spill the beans, but capture it and give it a life of its own so that you can help the ones that you love the most. And that's the most precious inheritance in the world. I think you people are the best.
Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett.
That's all, folks.